I'm so tired.
Welcome back, Pineapple Leaf, and in tonight's video we will be discussing the 2025 Napa Valley Marathon, which was my PR marathon that I've been saying that I will get to in previous videos, and I think it's about time, while it's still at least March, as the PR was set for race day on March 3rd, and I'll kind of go over the preparation, what happened and through of the marathon to what led to my PR. And this is the latest edition of Finisher Medals right here. I think this one's pretty nice. I like the way that the adult grape juice wine bottle is built over into a trail route for the marathon, and I really like the purple, green, and orange. So, after 2024 CIM, I was a bit concerned with this marathon leading into it because I felt like I didn't get enough really good speed work quality sessions in that I typically do in previous marathons. Every CIM I've PR'd, even if it's just by like 50 seconds, getting myself closer and closer to sub 3, the ultimate goal. But this is the very first time that I've gotten a PR that is not CIM, so that is exciting. And if you go way back to 2023 Napa Marathon, where I kind of had too many marathons bunched up in one year, that was my most brutal marathon, where I had a really bad blister, and I posted the footage, or at least picture of that, in that video, and spoiler alert, same thing happened again. I did get a blister, but kind of to my own doing this time. 2023 blister was caused by the rain and wetness from that marathon. I kind of had excitement to get vengeance back on this race, get a little bit of payback, because it's been the marathon that I've had the most brutal experience with. Running on a blister that was the worst blister that popped in a marathon. And I've been, you kind of experiment with marathons, and that's kind of what I was doing as a newer runner, because as I've heard before, they say you're a new runner if you don't have more than 10 years experience as a runner. So this was 2 full years as like really taking running kind of seriously. And my mindset was, well, I went from a like 3:40:41 in San Francisco. That hilly one was my first marathon that wasn't in a training run. So, because in my training run originally, I just wanted to run a marathon under 9 minutes pace. I did that in a training run by myself. That was horrible. I don't recommend doing that as a newer runner before your first marathon, especially with injury risk. So then I ran at like 3:40:41 in San Francisco, which was a tougher course. So I said, you know what, while I'm still running, before I go back to my cycling goals, I just want to see how close I can get to a really good PR or qualifying for Boston. And I ran a 3:05:23. So that was a pretty big PR. It was like 35-minute PR, and from San Francisco to Sacramento CIM, which was, there's over 600 feet of elevation gain and rolling hills, and it fully stops at mile 22 in Sacramento CIM, California International Marathon, but there is a total amount of 75 elevation foot gain. And just going on statistics, the fastest courses in the world where every pro breaks the world record is on pretty much karate chop, pancake flat courses where there's not much elevation gain at all. So the rolling hills, even though there's a net drop in Sacramento and in Napa, there's still, both marathons definitely have over 600 feet of elevation gain in those courses. So they are fast courses, but if you're like really wanting to go all out, they say Tokyo, Berlin, London, Chicago, Spain, I think, has a lot of recognition now as a really fast course. there's been records broken pretty much at all of those. I think Chicago now has the female and male record. I tried, as you know, signing up for Chicago Marathon. Didn't get lucky enough to hit that lottery. That would have been epic to do, but hopefully someday I get to run Boston. Within the short time that I've been running, they've made qualifying for Boston in my age bracket, or I think every age bracket, like 5 minutes harder. So I mean, I easily would have gotten it the last 2 marathons I had. So in this build up from CIM, my goal was to kind of take my PR from CIM, which was a 3:03:50, which was my PR before that was a 3:04:41. I think that's what it was, and just kind of turn that over into a really good training run to hopefully Napa and PR. But I let my body kind of heal up after CIM, and then probably more so than I did after Napa, actually. My goal for this one was to the most important thing is base mileage consistency. Consistency, base mileage in your training blocks is just accumulating mileage. And so I was just being really consistent with my more easy, relaxed runs in this. Just really running, trying to keep, even if it's just like a 4 to 5 miler every day at the minimum, since January 1st, and really targeting the 2+ hour long run every week dialed in, which I have not had one since March 2nd, as I took this last week off because my knee's been hurting. Doing back into cycling, and I need to get back into my long run routine, but I have pretty much from April on is kind of the goal till December 7th for my next marathon in December in Sacramento, CIM, to train, so I can kind of back off a little bit, but I'm still putting in a lot of hours per week, and I'm working full-time job, which I'm on my feet all day, so that's something a lot of us have to take into account as working class raccoon comrades. Where we are constantly on our feet, and then I ride my bicycle home on my road bike, and hopefully that build is coming for the Santa Cruz Tall Boy. I know I did the unboxing, slowly chipping away in the savings account to make the full build, but it's going to be an expensive one. This is going to be a bike I'm going to have for a long time, so bear with me. It's going to be one that's going to take a while. So back to the marathon, I wasn't as confident going into this one because sometimes my Garmin watch, I'll typically run like 10 minutes faster than what the prediction time is. So in the back of my head, I was really excited to do this one because I knew I was going to PR the course, because I think in 2023 I ran at 3:21, and so my minimum goal was I knew I'd go there and PR the course barring injury. Obviously the goal is to PR. Obviously this goal is to feel really good, get a runner's high maybe, and just have a perfect day, and get there early enough to where I'm running with the pacers for sub 3. Unfortunately that didn't happen. I got there a little too late. So the build up to this was my marathon prediction was 3:20, so I was like, am I gonna run like a 3:10? But I'm noticing increasingly enough the last 2 marathons from the last Sacramento and Napa, this thing has been way off. So don't take into account too much of what your watch is saying, and I also don't think it takes into account anything from Strava that I load even from my Garmin cycling computer. I don't really think it takes into account my cycling, my strength training, stuff like that. But I mean, it's not like that's the strength training is getting uploaded to Garmin, it's getting uploaded to Strava. I wish those two could communicate better to maybe give us a more accurate, in-depth analysis of our athletic vessels these meat suits we're in. Sound mind, sound body, sound soul. I would say the biggest thing to hitting these goals was consistency, racking up mileage just overall, base mileage, and the 2 hour plus long run, which you make really strong adaptations to your fitness that your body makes to your fitness. So that was the big takeaway from this marathon, was still being able to hit it without as many huge or without as many big speed quality sessions. I didn't get as many sprints in this building block. I kind of had a short window for this one. My training block was like after CIM in December 8th, I think it was. I didn't really like, I got the footsies moving again, got the legs moving after that, but it was just kind of like getting back into it, very small, easy. And then January 1st hit, and that's when I was just being consistent with a lot of mileage. I was at least getting a tempo run in per week, throwing in strides, throwing in some sprints here and there, but I didn't have any like full sprint workouts. I didn't have anything like too crazy. I didn't do my typical at minimum half marathon, like sub 3 pace or like long run kind of thing that I usually do before, and which could have helped me going into this one. Maybe I was a little more fresh. But after ramping up to an over 80-mile week, which I ran over 80 miles one week. I don't remember how many miles I cycled, and I actually felt like decently good after that. Like it was like I was like comfortable enough to do that, but I wasn't like struggling super hard to do it. It was obtainable, and then I backed back off. I think the next week I may have ran somewhere in the 40s. My body was kind of reeling a little bit the next week, so I didn't do anything I think too crazy. I think the biggest thing that's going to set you back, and with all those muscle tears,
rebuilding,
more of those niggle injuries, is speed sessions workouts. And so I kind of knew that going into this again. That's where I typically get the most pains from, and I was really just going for like a different tone going this one a little bit of trying to experiment a little bit, like, oh, this is kind of a freebie like experiment. How will this affect me if I don't do things in such a more like guaranteed track session workouts in this marathon block that I'm doing for Napa. The one thing I will say is when I started the taper, when my right knee was bothering me, I wanted to switch it up with some trail runs, and I knew it was just going to be like more adventure runs. And when I say adventure run or ride, it means I'm not putting any pressure on pace or anything, and that was part of the goal of like just get out there, get the mind off the road a little bit. The trail's kind of better on your joints as versus the pavement. But one thing is, with all the kind of balancing body of movements out there, I did kind of, with those Nike Zagama 2s, which I do really like. I think they'd be a great shoe if you're training for an ultramarathon on less technical trails, more especially like fire roads, road to trail. They're more of a max cush, comfortable shoe, and they do have bounce, but they're not the best for technical trails. And I kind of hit some more technical stuff out there. I would not recommend those as much. I kind of almost rolled my ankle twice, and I did kind of irk my knee, which kind of bothered me before that. So I had to roll back a lot of days and kind of ride my bike a little more and just stay off my feet, period, some days, with only just like a little bit of riding to keep the blood moving, and some very small runs leading into that taper. That kind of set me back, and I got really nervous going into this marathon about my right knee. So trail running, anything too technical before in your taper weeks, I strongly don't recommend. Going up Rough Go and some of those other areas was not conducive to my taper. It really kind of set me back. I got my rest in, got my taper down. 1 or 2 days before, my knee was feeling a little better. One thing I will say is, in this taper, is I took the advice of some runners from YouTube, and I saw that there was some studies done where it was more beneficial in the taper to keep the legs moving faster in your taper. Throwing in some, like, even the week of, I think it was like the Tuesday before, even though one of the runners said that she only ran like 10 kilometers within the last taper week of her marathon before race day, and I think she was like an actual like really good runner, like actually like competed and stuff, was sponsored, and I can't remember which channel it was. so there's a lot of benefits to getting some short strides in, and keep those legs having your body know what it feels like to run and turn over the feet faster for the marathon. Something else I'll say was, even though I didn't do what I wanted to do, which was run a little bit every single day before the marathon, with at least taking like 1 to 2 days off, because I took too many days off I think before. I did incorporate some more light speed work, where you keep the intensity, but you just dial back the percentage of your mileage throughout the week of the tapers, and so you keep the intensity, and you kind of do everything you're gonna do, from your easy runs to like your last long run for that week. You're just dialing everything back in general, and your speed workout session could only be like 3 miles or like 4 maybe, with 2 of those being kind of faster miles, off and on like intervals. Nothing too crazy, but keep the legs turning over.
And used to running marathon pace.
And I think that really helped. The only thing that did kind of set me back was I got everything ready the night before. I carb loaded pretty well, I think, keeping low on the fats and high on the carbs the 2 days before, which is really helpful. I didn't like get too neurotic about it this time, and I was just a little less stressful in my mind going into it, which I did think helped. I had everything set up the night before, and I just drove out to Calistoga to the marathon, and I got stuck behind somewhat of a slower driver, and then I found my parking. And the nice thing is I've already ran this marathon, so I had the confidence to know where to go, how to park, where the starting line was. And when you've ran the same marathon before, you just have confidence, like, I've been here, I've done that, I know the routine. But I was running late. I didn't get the best lockdown I wanted, and I had to make the decision, I have to use the porta potty, I have to wait in line, that gun's about to go. I had like 2 minutes. I chose to go to the bathroom, and so I missed the pacing group by like a minute and a half. I probably missed the start go wee at Joey at probably like 2 minutes after I hit the start line. Before, so I was like just having to run past like a ton of people to even catch up to somewhat in that beginning groups of closer to the sub 3 hour mark pacing group, but I didn't get anywhere close to that because I got off to way too late of a start. So it took me a while to get from like the 5 hour all the way to the 4. Then like the more you run, like at the beginning, you're passing all the slower paces a lot quicker until you hit like the 340 pacing group, and then it just takes a little longer to get to the 335, 330. I don't even know if there's that many pacers. I'm just kind of using this as example. And then you hit like the 325, 20, and then it just takes a little longer because you can only get that pace to match up to that other one. I knew I was going to get back into the not back because I never even got to start with to the sub 3 group, and so who knows what would have happened if I could have just kept pace with that and drafted or whatever. A little bit of tailwind magic is I didn't get the best lockdown I wanted on my Nike L5 3 Crimson Red Guava, and so my right shoe in particular was a little loose, and I had the same problem I've done before. I don't make the mistakes just once or twice, I make it 5 or 6 times. Is I hitting those aid stations, I was a little too sloppy with the water. Kind of like got to be careful with that, because if that water gets in your shoe, it's how you develop blisters. And I got a real bad one that I was like nursing the whole way, trying to manage. It finally popped later on in the race. So if you need to just slow it down at the aid stations, kind of go into like a brisk, gentle little almost stop, and there's going to be so many people, especially at the beginning aid stations, and they're very long. The aid stations are long. You don't always have to go get the first cup of water or electrolytes. Go further down and get something for someone else. Just drink it real quick and go. And you want to hydrate all the time throughout. You don't want to wait till you're thirsty, because then you'll bonk. You get really extra dehydrated. The other problem I had was, another tip I want to say, and I mean tip. Hence, down there, my Bandit kit, which I love and I've been wearing the last couple marathons. I've never had this problem. What I think got a little too loose, and there was some real bad chafing that happened, and it was noticeable and irritable on the run that I was trying to fix. And I kind of like pulled it down, and there was like some a whole like for a good majority of the way, and it was bloody. And yeah, and then when I say running tip, I mean running tip was bloody. Like afterwards when I peed, I was peeing blood, hurt, and I thought it was like something more serious going on. Luckily, it was just chafing. But that was a painful lesson to learn. I think next time, so I ordered another Bandit kit, but one size smaller. It's like only medium gear I have. So annoying. I will be doing a video on my apparel. Some large stuff fits really nice and tight. Like I love Tracksmith stuff. Fits so amazing. So like nice and tight. There would not be any chafing. It's very thin and like it's just like a very nice race. Just feel. I love it. The only problem is, though I don't wear it on race day, is nothing on the sides. There's just like a couple like small gel things, gel pockets to put some gels in, like a zipper back pocket. So you won't really have any access to your phone. Like say if you want to like really like change like the music or something, you can't just like pull something out. You can't take a picture. You can't do certain things like that. You are 100% reliant on tiny little. You would have to stop, unzip it, like pull out your phone that's always rubbing on like your your lower back. Maybe I've ran it before. I haven't really any problems with stuff like that, and I always take the case off my phone when I run in race day. But it's just I don't want to have to do that. Like if Tracksmith just had like at least 2 more tiny pockets for the gels, you might be able to fit as many gels as you need in there for a marathon. I'm not sure, but if they had just at least had 1, preferably 2 pockets on the sides, like kind of those cell phone sides, that would probably be my race day kit right there. Not probably like as much as I like Bandit, it'd probably be that. And I did get some new gear from like For the Run and Heartbreak Hill. Break PRs, not hearts, is Run with Heart. I got kits from them as well. I'm saying it like as a cycling kit, but like a running kit, like tanks, some other gear. Got some shorts, and I got their half tights, and they feel really nice. And they have they have plenty of pockets for gels, because I'm gonna need bigger gels. I'm gonna need like probably 5 to 6
bigger gels, the big Mortons.
There's usually gels provided of course, and some like half bananas. So I usually do Morton. Yeah, it was a really good lesson to learn for my next one in CIM. I've already prepared by buying more running gear, and I'm really like hoping Tracksmith comes out with some side pocket tights, because I love their stuff. Like I wanted to buy some of their half tights recently, but I was like, there's too many good half tights that have side pockets that I'll just get along with those. But please, Tracksmith, please, why don't you have side pockets on your half tights? Why? I get maybe having like one half tight for like your milers, your 5Ks, your 10Ks, but even like your halves, but half marathon. But for the full marathon, please have a Murdered Out black set. I like the black because for running, so it's just easier to match. I got the fun poppy shoes, some fun poppy hats. I like to do some like colorful stuff on the hands, like if it's gloves, hats, sunglasses. Got the sunnies, the socks. But when it comes to this, like right now, I'm all ninja Murdered Out. When in doubt, Murdered Out, because I like to be a sneaky ninja. I mean, it's kind of hard to be a sneaky ninja when I'm wearing fluorescent shoes. When you're like, oh, holy highlights. Any more puns? Not pun pardons is he gonna have here? Yeah, that's the highlight of my day. It's hard being mysterious when I'm like a goth, mysterious, cool kind of guy out there. I'm trying to be edgy when I'm wearing bright colored shoes. That's the lesson. Make sure your stuff is dialed in. Like a tighter fit, in my opinion, is what I'm going for. I'm probably gonna do extra shaving cream because I didn't really put any. I just kind of put some lotion on. That might have been a bad idea. I did put some of the tape on. I did KT tape. I'll have some pictures in this video to illustrate that, but I do really like KT tape. My knee did act up for miles like 4 to 5, 6, I think. But it kind of just went away. It was a little concerning during the run. Met one cool guy that we did pace each other throughout the run. I'll put his picture up, and his name is Marty, and he was really cool, and he had a really good attitude. Kind of helped me get through some of my dark moments, my little moment of weakness of like, oh my, this blister. But we both paced each other towards the end, kept each other's spirits high, and had the effort way of the ninja. You gotta stay strong. Sometimes you gotta just be extra positive and think about the beautiful race and lovely over the beautiful top day we're having in time. Like, we put all the work in, execute. Sometimes life is just pain and PRs, and that's just another lesson that is going to make you just that much more of an endurance tough ninja. He qualified for Boston. He ran a 3:05 something, and I was really excited. Even after the race, we took a picture together, had a good chat. We were talking during the run, had a good conversation, and he thanked me. He said he was like, I think he's being a little modest. He was like, oh, you helped pace me to Boston or to my PR. You did it yourself. You put the effort in. We just did a little bit of solidarity and mutual aid towards the end to benefit. Mile 23, I did start cranking it down, and my blister popped, and that hurt, but I kept going. The rest is history. The very last mile, I cranked it up, and I pushed the pace. I don't know how far he was behind me or whatever, but I don't think I think that was also helpful to motivate, to see like, okay, this guy's in pain and he's pushing, which I think helped him also push his PR towards the end, because I was like, all right, I always kind of like have a little extra juice, Joey juice, for that last mile or two, and especially in the last mile, I start to like really crank it down, and the point two, I always sprint. So people at the finish line, I'm not running that fast the whole time. So you guys probably know that. I'm like, well, if this even helps me PR an extra second on top of what I'm already doing, if I have it in me, I'm not injured, go for the sprint in the last quarter mile. Why not? What else? Not too much else really happened within that marathon. It's nice to know that my goal of transferring over my run from CIM to that short window to Napa was conducive to a PR. Maybe this will be my strategy going forward, is CIM and then Napa, and hopefully just keep PRing both. And like, even if I don't PR Sacramento as hard as I want, I can almost take it as a training run to Napa. And my goal for Napa was sub 3. Second place goal, it's always good to have A, B, C, and D plans for your marathon in case one doesn't fall through, because sometimes your main goal of going, like, whether it's sub 3 or sub 4 or sub 3:30 or whatever it may be, sub 2:50, sub 2:30, it's good to have a backup. You can't be yourself. I mean, you can, but you know, what are we doing here if we're not having fun? If you can't enjoy a PR, like, you put in the work, be proud of yourself, give yourself a pat on the back. I got my 3:02:34 was my PR. First time ever running under 7-minute pace in a marathon. The pace was 6:58 for the marathon, so I'm extremely proud. Even if I were to stop running marathons now, I would be way more happy that I ran in the 6-minute range for a marathon. That was huge for me. So sub 3 goal, main goal. Second goal, PR. Third goal, I kind of was like, it would be nice to run under 3 hours 10 minutes for a marathon. That's not Sacramento. I don't even know if I've actually ran under 3:10 for any marathon not Sacramento. All my sub 3:06s have all been Sacramento and now Napa. My fourth goal at the minimum was like, I just want to PR the course. I have to get a little bit of revenge on this course that chewed me up and spit me out those years ago. It chewed me up and spit me out again. I came out with a lot of pain, but I also came out with a huge PR that I'm extremely proud of. hopefully someday, if I ever go sub 3, I can look back at this and just enjoy it for what it was, which was just more pain and PRs. Life is pain and PRs. I'm proud of myself. You guys should all be proud of yourself too. No matter what, just like, even if you, unless you have like a serious injury, I don't believe in the whole like died before DNF, did not finish. Like, finishing the marathon too, like, just be proud of yourself. Like, a lot of people never even run a marathon, let alone run one at certain paces. So this is just a personal goal I'm setting for myself, that I set big goals for myself that make me excited yet nervous. That's how I think goals should be kind of fun. But at the same time, what are we doing here if we're not having fun? You have to, like, not, like, I used to really get down on myself, like almost cry, like when I like thought I failed, me and everyone, when I didn't qualify for Boston. But now it's just like, for what? Why am I doing this? I love running. It makes me feel alive and gives me more meaning. I do love also proving that I can do these things, especially as a vegan athlete. From Everesting twice, I got 3 rides in the Hall of Fame.
EverestingHallOfFame.com.
To this, so that I hopefully hit this goal. But regardless, now I have one at least in the 6-minute range. For someone that's coming from more cycling oriented to the brutal pavement pounding of running, and who knows, like, my goal was to hopefully just run a marathon under a 9-minute pace. Did that, ran some good times, and I thought I was going to go back to my cycling goals, but I'm kind of almost thinking like I could be starting to fall in love with running. It's a dangerous game I'm playing here. You know, there's something about just how the simplicity of riding my bike home, lacing up the shoes, and going on a run. Something about hitting that override button, that like evolutionary, like primal, like, it's the one thing we have over every species. It's physically the only thing we have over every species on the planet is we're the best endurance runners. We can run down, we can outrun any animal on the planet in endurance.
It's especially fitting when I say a ninja is one who can endure anything.
Endurance athletes really tests the mind in particular. It's very therapeutic, spending all that time alone with yourself out there. Miles can be your meditation.
Psychology, cycle, get it?
It's done so much for me. It's been eye-opening. Maybe I'll have to do like a video on it. So that's the majority of what I gotta say for this 2025 recap of the marathon in Napa. Thank you, all the Pineapple Leaf and everyone who supports the Pineapple Leaf. Thank you for your service. I'm extremely raccoon, baggy-eyed, bandit tired while making this video. Hopefully it looks like a bandit mask with all my old-timey
LL Cool J tracksuit
gear on. No sweat, no regret. Beanie, to the Adidas favorite hoodie, to my favorite pair of New Balance sweats, and my recovery compression socks. One of my recovery compression socks by Hoka. So, again, thanks for all the love and support. Solidarity, salute, love and support right back to you, Pineapple Leaf. See you out there running them streets. Stay rad life out there. Peace out. Bye.
All right, so this one I'm excited for. Still really sore after my strength training routine, and this is making waves. Pine nut orange cream, Shiba Inu, Coca-Cola. He's just gonna have a fun meal right now. Get some extra protein with the Gardein Ultimate vegan chicken patty, and an extra like 12 grams of protein with the bagel, everything bagel. So I'm gonna have a kind of a junk food Joey time with this Coca-Cola. You gotta have a fun meal with Coca-Cola, especially this one. I know what I think.
Hell
yeah. Getting the vegan mushroom steak and pineapple sandos. Politics.
Macros are off the chain.
A mushroom steak. A lot of protein for 220 calories. Got all them vitamins. Ow.